And I understand Tibbs is a defensive coach, but at the end of the day, we still have to score in order to win. Like, I understand you want to limit the opposing team, but can we start working on the offensive side of the ball so we can get these guys some easy looks so we can help aid them in their development? Hey, what's going on? Keith here from Sports Vibes TV. And in this video, I just want to give my thoughts on the Knicks losing to the Charlotte Hornets 109-88. And at this point, I don't understand why we keep getting blown out in the second half. Well, I understand it, but I don't understand why it continues to happen. Time and time again, Tibbs does not make the adjustments at halftime. And you see the opposing team, they make adjustments and the Knicks can't react. And we can't adjust as well. It's frustrating as a Knicks fan. Look at Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox went out in the first half, had 17 points, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he had 17 points in the first half. And then in the second half, you see the Charlotte Hornets adjust the way they're defending him, and he only has 2 points for the remaining portion of the game. You would think Tibbs would try to dial something up, get something in the playbook that's going to get Kevin Knox some good looks. But no, we continue to allow RJ Barrett to shoot outside jump shots when we know that is not right now a strength in his game. RJ Barrett shot 5 for 18. That's almost 25%. 2 more misses and he would have been at 25% shooting. And then from 3, he was 0 for 5. I think he's in like a 0 for 21 slump right now from 3. I understand you want RJ to continue to be aggressive. I want RJ to continue to be aggressive, but I want him to be aggressive in finding the best shot, not being aggressive in finding a shot. You know what I'm talking about? Like, we don't need you pulling from 3 when there's a defender in front of you. Get to the basket, get into the paint, and as you can see, he had 5 assists. RJ Barrett can be effective as a facilitator. That's what we need to see more of. We need to see more of him getting into the paint. And when scoring is not an option, then he can look to facilitate and get other players involved. Because right now, what he's doing, just catching and he's not a catch and shoot player right now. And that's what we're seeing a lot of times. He's catching the ball and he's pulling. No, get into the paint, especially this game when, the Charlotte Hornets are going to play small. So this, to me, would have been the best game for him to get in the paint. We know that the Charlotte Hornets like to get the rebound and push it up the court. So try to slow it down, limit their possessions, get the ball to RJ, see if he can find, a way to score in the post. And if not, he can always pass out to other players on the court. Kevin Knox was hot. Who knows? Maybe if RJ is in the paint, posting up, and then the team has to double because he's got a smaller defender on him, maybe he can find Kevin Knox for a few more shots, Kevin Knox had a very good first half. The only worry I have about Kevin Knox is this what we're going to have as Kevin Knox? Is he just going to be a shooter? Because I thought there were going to be more facets to his game. I thought he was going to be able to attack the basket, try to finish at the rim, as well as, have the ability to knock down the 3. But so far this season, it seems like they're using him almost exclusively as a stretch the floor shooter. If that's what he becomes, then, all right, cool. He's shooting at a high enough clip so far, but I still hope we try to expand his game and try to get him to do a little bit more. So hopefully Kenny Payne, Johnny Bryant, they can work with him to try to expand his game so we can actually see that in game. But Julius Randle, he had a slow night. He wasn't as active as we've seen him in previous games, and that's to be expected. He's had to carry a large workload for the team, so you're going to expect games where he's not going to be as effective. He had 11 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 of 9 from the 3. So he was fairly quiet for the game, and you kind of hope that players would have stepped up around him and picked him up like we saw in the first half of the Hawks game. But that's not something we saw here. Mitchell Robinson had a decent enough game. He had 12 points, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks. I wanted to see him be a bigger focus offensively. You hear Tibbs saying in press conferences that they've been working on his game offensively. So when are we going to see it? If it wasn't going to be this game, when was it? When is it? Because this was a game where the Hornets tend to play small. So you could have seen Mitchell Robinson actually have an opportunity where he's guarded down low play after play by mismatches. So to see us not take advantage of that is unfortunate. But, the team as a whole, we just didn't do well, let me rephrase that. I think the team in certain facets played a decent game. It's just the Hornets made adjustments. They were actually hitting their shots, and they had the refs on their side. There's no way the Knicks will call for 23 personal fouls and the Hornets will only call for 14. That's ridiculous. And if you look at the stats, the team, we out-rebounded them. We did what we had to do. And also, we also had more transition points than them. We had more fast break points, something that the Knicks, I think, were last in the league at. So I think it was 12-7 when it comes to fast break points. So the Knicks were out there getting steals. We were able to get points off turnovers as well. I think we had more points than turnovers. It was like 24-17. And the team is doing certain good things defensively. We're just having issues on the offensive side of the ball. And I understand Tibbs is a defensive coach, but at the end of the day, we still have to score in order to win. Like, I understand you want to limit the opposing team, but can we start working on the offensive side of the ball so we can get these guys some easy looks, so we can help aid them in their development? If all they're doing is putting up tough shots, it's going to be difficult for them to get better in game. We have to try to get them some open looks. We have to try to get some plays installed so that we can build some chemistry, because these guys just going out and playing playground ball is not working for us. We don't have the level of floor general for us to just go out there and just do anything. These guys are not working as a unit offensively. I'm giving them a lot of slack because we're on a 3-game losing streak, but there are times where we do look good. It's just during this 3-game losing streak, in the second half, it just everything falls apart, and then we lose our integrity defensively, and we get blown out in the second half. We've had 3 straight games where we've been blown out, and Tibbs is a defensive coach. I understand your shot's not falling, but you should not be giving up on defense. And, my co-host, Inf, on the Knicks State of Mind podcast, a podcast that we have going live every weekend, so check it out. We'll be going live around 8, 9 o'clock. He always says when the offense starts, flailing or falling, the defense is right behind it, because this team just gives up defensively the minute our shots don't fall. And in my pregame review, I said we have to minimize the amount of damage this team can do from the 3-point line. And they shot over 40% from 3. And if the team is going to shoot over 40% from 3, and we're going to shoot less than 40% from the field, then, it's going to be hard for us to stay in the game. And then you add the fact that the refs were clearly making calls in favor of the Hornets. So with all those ingredients combined, it's going to lead to a blowout. And that's why we've seen 3 straight blowouts. It don't make any sense right now. He's supposed to be a defensive coach. Get this team together in the second half. Like, if the offense isn't falling, I understand, but we need you to at least keep the game close. Because if the shots do start falling, then at least, there's still that level of morale that we can come back. Because once we get down by 20, 25, I think the team knows we do not have the offensive firepower. You want to say we're down 12, we're down 13, yeah, we can get it like maybe down 4, down 5, and make it respectable and competitive, in the clutch. But right now, if we're letting teams get on 20-point leads, we don't have the ability to get back, and we don't have the ability to claw back from a deficit that's that large. And I said it in my pregame analysis. We are not good enough to allow teams to go on long sustained runs. And that's what ended up, doing us in this game. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Once again, I'm Keith, host of Sports Vibes TV, and I'm out.
Stress.